Now, big Latto, big Latto, big Latto. Listen, Annie, I love me some Latto. I think she's talented and I think she's actually popping. But when somebody does show a bit of lack of, comprehension skills, in my own opinion, we have to keep it real, okay? So I'm gonna tell you everything that went down on Twitter last night. Everything started off by Nicki Minaj basically just revealing and calling out the Grammys on removing her song Super Freaky Girl from the rap category and putting it under the pop category. Now, you might be wondering why that is such a huge issue. Or it is an issue because the pop section has got people who are loyal to pop, people who have been doing pop for ages, people who do strictly pop. And chances of Nicki Minaj's song winning under that category are honestly minimized. That's why it's such an issue for Nicki Minaj. Now, according to Nicki Minaj, she feels like the Grammys probably intentionally did it so that she wouldn't get that Grammy, despite her song Super Freaky Girl being the song that actually trended, that debuted on #1 on Billboard and literally ran the charts. Okay, so she feels like maybe the executives were doing this on purpose. And if you guys know, Nicki Minaj and the Grammys haven't exactly had a very good relationship. So I could see why she would feel that type of way. Okay, and when she was trying to explain her point, that's when she decided to give an example of Hotline Bling and that time when Drake actually stood up for other people in the rap genre by just saying, you know what, at the end of the day, there are people who could have gotten that award and stuff like that. Now, she also made a comparison to Latto's song Big Energy. Now, in her comparison, I will be honest, she didn't criticize the craftsmanship, she didn't criticize the creativity, she didn't even mention that she didn't say the song was bad at all. She was just basically talking about categories, and I, in my own opinion, didn't see that as a personal attack on Latto, because all she was saying was, if Super Freaky Girl is a pop song, then so is Big Energy. What criteria are you using? Furthermore, she even went ahead to talk about the song, the other song that Lauryn Hill did that, she sampled from the very same song that Nicki Minaj did. It was also nominated under the rap category. So, of course, Nicki Minaj is going to feel some type of way about this. And this in no way was a personal attack on Latto. But obviously, Latto took it personal because she went ahead to Twitter and said something like, oh, now I can't even enjoy this in peace. And honestly speaking, if you listened to the live, you would understand that she was not being shady towards Latto. In that video, she was just basically trying to prove a point, and she used Latto's song as a reference and an example on how this was not a playing field, not a personal attack on Latto. Of course, she did go ahead to insinuate that certain label executives will do whatever it takes to make sure that their artists actually win the Grammy, and so they would eliminate any form of competition that they would know would compromise the chances of their own artist winning. And she even said that they do this just so because they profit of that very artist. Do you know what I'm saying? So in no way do I see this as an attack on Latto. But if I'm wrong, please do correct me in the comment section. I feel like this was a big, huge miscommunication, misunderstanding. Now, it seems like Latto then reached out to Nicki Minaj in the inbox, and she actually said, I understand where you're coming from, but this feels like it's a personal attack since you mentioned my song. Do you know what I'm saying? She said she actually understands. Of course, that's not what she said verbatim, but she said that she understood where Nicki Minaj was coming from. But then after sharing all that information, she went back to Twitter and did what these rap girls do best, continue making it seem like it's a beef, or maybe, I don't know, in other fans' opinion, take advantage of the situation to create and perpetuate a narrative. This is when Nicki Minaj went off, all right? She basically called Latto a Karen. Now, do I think that Nicki Minaj should have called out Latto like this? I definitely don't. Not because she wasn't angry, not because I'm discrediting her anger, but because I love her so much to know when she's being baited. This is exactly the narrative that the industry people want for her. And of course, Latto did waste no time. She took the advantage. She took that time, the opportunity to air out the things that she has wanted, well, in my own opinion, that she's probably wanted to say to Nicki Minaj for a very long time, but, didn't get the chance to say them. She called Nicki Minaj old. She called her out. She said, "You're bigger than my grandma." Well, that is because Nicki Minaj had said, well, Drake actually helped, by speaking up for other people in the rap genre. I just wish she had done the same. And this is where, in my own opinion, Latto's lack of comprehension skills showed themselves, because she then suddenly started attacking her by saying, "Why do I need to defend you? You're older than my mama. You're such a grandmother." And in my own opinion, that left a very bad taste in my mouth. Like, what they say about listen to the things that people say when they're angry. Though they've always wanted to say those things for a very long time. Now I definitely agree, because where those things came from, especially the old line, we know the person who normally uses that line, and now clearly I don't know, honestly. I'm disappointed in Latto. I'm disappointed in Nicki Minaj for even responding or paying attention to her, because clearly this is what the industry people wanted. They wanted to push this narrative, and in no time, Latto actually brought out the whole rape, what, and I'm like, oh my God, where is this even coming from? And honestly, I wish Nicki would just, I don't know what I wish her to do at this point. Like, just leave the Grammys alone. And if anyone doesn't see what the Grammys have done to Nicki Minaj up to this point, at this point, I'm convinced that you're just choosing to be biased, because whether you love her or not, you can agree with me that that was very shady. Even Ammon Wiggins, and you know that his relationship with Nicki Minaj is not even good, and she even blocked him, but he actually said, no, on this one I agree on Nicki Minaj. It doesn't make sense for Big Energy to be classified as a rap song, and for Nicki Minaj's Super Freaky Girl to be classified as a pop song. It didn't make sense for him. And that's even Ammon. He said that. So tea lovers, do hop into the comment section and let me know what you think about this whole situation. Honestly, I'm just so heartbroken by this entire situation. It breaks my heart. I wish Nicki Minaj would have paid her dust, because this is exactly what she wanted. And honestly, at this point, I kind of feel some type of way about Latto, because she did extra. She went in extra. And I've seen all the bloggers trying to act like, oh, Nicki Minaj started it. But let's keep it real on this one, okay?